Hello, everyone. I'm not seeing people. Why am I not seeing? Hold on, let me my screen bigger. Thank you all for coming in. Seeing you, Rebecca, Celia. Hey, y'all. Please sign in. Want to make sure we capture the attendance. Today's meeting is going to be a little more interactive for our sites, but give you an opportunity to log in. And I hope everyone is doing well. And we'll keep putting this into the chat so that folks can do it. Jimmy, you want to go to the next slide? Karen, you gonna run this?
I can. So welcome everybody. We're excited to have you. So today we're going to look at, I like to call this Where Are You Island. It's a little island. It's a little hard to see, but if you get really close to your computer, you can see the little spots. There's Forest of Fear, there's Angryville, there's Bitter Bridge. Those are all negative. Okay, I'm going to find a positive one. There's a positive one somewhere. But we want you to look at this island, and you can either unmute yourself because there's only 22 of us, or you can put in the chat where you feel like you're at right now. We know that it's the end of the year. We're wrapping things up. So we want to know whereabouts you're at. It's like a cute little check-in. We have this in our live binder too, so you guys can use it. So feel free to unmute or put it in the chat where you're at right now. Busy Beach. Ooh, I'm right there with you. Yes, Elizabeth. We're there together. Who else? Peninsula of Peace, Tired Town. Oh, yes, I'm there too. Who else? Where are you at? There's Happiness Highway too, so there's a positive. Garden of Gratefulness, Tired Town 2, Rushed River. Oh, yeah. I'm on the kayak there. Positivity Plains, Curious Canyon. I like that. So a lot of curiosity, a lot of busyness, some tiredness. But we're excited to have you no matter where you're at on the island. We're excited that you're here. And feel free to use this for your check-ins too. Thank you.
Thank you, Karen. Natina, you curious about this work? What you curious about? You curious about this, or what you just curious in general? Now, don't be scared. Unmute. Natina.
Trying to get there, won't let me. Can you hear me
So
now?
you curious about? Yeah, I can hear you now. You curious about the grant, the work, or you curious just in general?
I feel like, yeah, that I still have learnings to learn. So I'm just trying to get into every nook and cranny that I can to make sure I don't miss anything.
Yeah, no, appreciate that. Thank you. You're in the right place today because we're going to have some opportunity to kind of address some of that curiosity and give more of a input just from you all this day. It's not going to be so much of us talking, but you guys actually get an opportunity to connect with the point of contact. So, Natina, hopefully we able to provide some of that for you today. Jermaine, you want to go to the next one? I know I'm at victory something, man, because we had a meeting today and we accomplished that. Anytime we finish a meeting, I'm always happy. So we are, of course, just want to review the meeting guidelines. Again, they're there. I won't read them to you all. Again, we'll be getting into breakout rooms so that folks are able to have smaller discussions. And so utilizing these meeting guidelines, they would still suffice in the breakout rooms. Okay. Let's go to the next slide. So just for our updates, and we have very limited updates. One of the biggest updates is that we did complete the RFP process, and we did send a name up for awarding, which is Healthy Campus. So Healthy Campus was the vendor that is going to the next steps of us getting into in conversation about how we can build a contract that is going to be useful for those folks who want to participate. And again, we have not truly identified who's going to participate, only because people were kind of waiting to see what we were going to do. And so Healthy Campus was chosen as for us to begin to start having some communication about what this could actually look like, right? So they were the vendor that was chosen to go to the conversation, okay? The second thing on the updates was, I know people are probably looking into or want to get access to the progress report, because that's going to be due in July. We still have not received that from SCOE yet, okay? They actually just finished sending feedback to us on the county level one. So we did get approved on ours, on our plan and our progress report from SCOE. I got an email for that this week. So countywide, we're good. Now we're going to get our sites put in there, right, and get our sites. But we have not received that that progress report as of yet, okay? And for folks who just walked in or came in or logged in to the meeting, just the update, the two major updates was we're moving forward with Healthy Campus as the potential vendor for the EHR and the billing mechanism or billing program, okay? So we did deal with them. Bless you, Roy. We did get an opportunity to, we chose them to be the vendor, and then the progress report has not been given to us yet, so we can't get that out to you all yet, okay? Any questions on those two updates? And Veronica, I hope those are the two you told me to make sure to hit.
Yeah, and I just wanted to thank the EHR selection committee. Everyone's feedback was helpful and guided us to making the decision that what was made, or why Healthy Campus was awarded. It was based on all of your feedback.
Yeah, yes, absolutely. And thank you for that, Veronica, reminding me that. Thank you all for those folks who did give us input on the things to look for. We believe that if we can move forward with Healthy Campus would be able to provide, has checked many of the boxes of what you guys said you guys wanted in the EHR and in the billing program. And so again, and this is for our EHR, Natina, like I said, those crevices, I understand everything, the EHR, this is something that we would provide countywide, and then the districts would engage the LEAs would engage with this EHR if they want to. If they already have something that they're utilizing, continue to do what you guys are doing, okay? So that's how it will work. And this is also things to be bringing up in these breakout rooms today. And again, the ladies have some guiding questions, but we certainly want to make it allow for some of the informal questions so that you guys can get more input many times, or get more questions answered. When we get into the bigger room, even though it's only 25 or 26 of us, people get nervous about talking loud, but maybe in the smaller groups, people will be much more engaged about asking their question that is going to help them move forward. One of the things that we continue to see, and I want us to always keep going back to, I'm gonna get out the way so we can get into the breakout rooms, but we want to remember that as we're doing this work, how this work can be aligned to our community schools for folks who have the community schools grant, as well as in utilizing these funds for sustainability. As we see how things are moving in our economic situation, just as a country, as a school sector, right? That this our ability to sustain the programs and the supports that we've been providing to students is going to be key, and this capacity grant is going to be a huge part of that. So when you find yourself utilizing these funds to maybe sustain an individual for 1 year, like, are we going to pay for these people for 1 year? That's not going to help you in year 3 or 4. So we want to continue to remind you of the importance of thinking long-term and not necessarily just short-term. Okay, so in these discussions today, really be considering that as we're moving forward, as you're looking at the next progress report, really looking at the long-term impact of this $24 million that our county received, and how do we make sure that this $24 million actually sets us up for the next couple of years, right? For a new structure around our behavior and mental health, okay? So again, bring that concept, community schools, capacity grant, long-term, sustaining, ELOP, all these different programs and all these different initiatives we have in education. How can we break these different funds and different initiatives for long-term sustainability? Okay. Is there another slide, or am I passing you off to the breakouts? Next slide, Jameen. Okay. So as you can see, we broke up the sites into, or the LEAs into their different point of contact. So Alex, really, she's in the purple. I guess y'all can read, but in the purple, the schools or LEAs who would be a point of contact. Alex is their point of contact. You're going to choose Alex's room to go into, right? And then Karen as well, and Marwa. Okay. So they're going to be facilitating the different rooms. What we will be asking you all to do is, when Jameen puts the rooms up, for you to pick the room that correlates with your point of contact. Any questions on what we're doing? Hey, Pat, good to see you too. Hey, Pat, my guy. So everyone clear on where we're going, and then I'll just move between the rooms. Rebecca, you too. So stay out, and then I have Jameen help ask you to go in and out. Okay. So Jameen, we want to put the rooms up.
They're up.
Hi, Natina. What LEA are you supporting?
I'm supporting the Apple Valley Unified School District.
Apple Valley?
Okay.
Is that
That's
Karen?
Karen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so then do you want me to put you in the room, or do you want to choose it yourself?
Can you put me in the room, please?
Uh-huh. Where did she go? Someone did it already. No? Her name moved.
I moved her.
Oh, okay.
Hey, so I think the one that Alex is in there with just two people. Two people. So we know, so it's really this Alex's side. Alex's districts are the ones who are, what we want to say, disengaged, right? Like less of them are showing up.
And some of
So
them,
she
some of Alex's really need to be
here. So really, and maybe what we can have, maybe Alex and them can go with two people. That's kind of whack. Maybe they might similar topics. One of the things I've been telling the team that I want to do in this space is make it much more practical, or more around implementation, right? So where we're looking at utilizing this space, because since we already have it carved out as an opportunity to be more of a learning session rather than like grant specific. Okay, you guys understand what I'm saying and the difference in that? Don't necessarily want to just talk to you guys about updates that's coming around the capacity grant, when the progress reports are due and all that. We can do those things, but I think we want to hold this space for more of a learning opportunity for folks. Again, when we're talking about wellness center procedures and implementation, is what you were kind of describing, Elizabeth, right? Helping to provide that kind of guidance, bringing different partners in to talk about those kind of things. Since we have this space, Rebecca talked about those coordinators at each of our districts, really getting those district coordinators who are doing the LEA BOP, the ESMA, who will be supporting the work around the fee schedule, allowing those folks to be a part of this conversation. One of the things we found in our tour, Rebecca and I, we've been doing a tour for the last 2 years with districts, and really there's been a disconnect from our leaders and these coordinators, right? And these coordinators hold a lot of information, a lot of sustainability information and ways for us to really bolster our sustainability mechanisms. And they're not necessarily they don't have the ear of the district leaders. And so this is one thing that we truly, truly want to stress, because if people can understand how to utilize these Medi-Cal programs, LEA BOP, ESMA, and now getting the fee schedule, we could really build some robust support systems in our school districts with the way that those programs function. And we can get people and our leaders to really drive the random moments of time surveys, right? That's a big opportunity for our districts. But again, it's kind of disjointed. And so if we can get our districts to understand that, our LEAs to understand how to leverage those Medi-Cal programs by involving their coordinators at their site, their district coordinators into the conversation, we could actually change a lot of the scarcity around the funding, right? And so we want to encourage you all to actually sit. One group for sure who could be in this space could be those coordinators, because those coordinators are seeing the big picture, right, of all these things, and they can truly inform our leaders because they understand the Medi-Cal programs and all that stuff, right? Again, we lead the programs as district leaders and LEA leaders. We don't necessarily do that technical work, and those coordinators are doing that technical work and have a vast understanding of how those programs can work. Kind of what you were saying, Pat, how do we stay in line? They're hearing these conversations that come from DACS to Rebecca's team, to those coordinators, all those things that are allowable and what are coming down from the state. Those coordinators are getting the opportunity to hear that from Rebecca's team, and Rebecca and them are in direct contact with DACS, where LEA, BOP, ESMA, and the fee schedule are going to live anyway. So a lot of that conversation is happening. I don't know if that conversation is getting sent back up to leadership around with those coordinators. Rebecca, am I saying that correctly?
Yep, you said it all correctly. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So
You've learned well.
Learned well, right? But those are going to be a huge opportunity if we get our coordinators to actually become, again, not just the technical aspect of, but actually help to inform some decision making in our districts and our LEAs. We actually this system and these programs that come from our state could actually be much more powerful, and we can bring in a lot more money in our county, a lot more money. And again, we're talking ESMA, we're talking unrestricted funds, right? Everybody likes unrestricted funds. And then we know fee schedule 2 is unrestricted. Thoughts about that? What are people thinking? Again, does everyone know who their coordinator is for their district or their LEA? If you don't know, Rebecca can certainly tell you off the bat. She knows everybody. Anything? Other questions? Ahas or input, feedback from the process and things you guys want to make sure we bring to this space. Okay.
They got quiet again. They were chatty in the breakout room.
Right. I told you, getting everybody in the room, it gets just like that. Right.
I think for our team, they did like the breakout rooms, and they do prefer every 2 weeks. And but they like that they can connect with each other and have those conversations. So they said the breakout room was helpful.
Mm-hmm. And I think us giving more opportunity for discussion and small group. Again, we already know just educationally that's a good practice, right? To allow for some small group opportunities. Again, people will be a little more engaged or willing to engage in the conversation, right? Again, go ahead, Elizabeth.
Just a quick thought. You mentioned about those that are in the management type positions that oversee these things. I'm not in that position. I am in way down at the bottom.
Stop it. You can be there.
So I am the coordinator for SMAW, for LEA BOP, and now for CYBHI. My problem is getting those that run things above me to see the importance of these programs.
Mm-hmm.
I understand how wonderful the programs are and how they work, and it's great. And then when I go and try and convey that to them, all they hear is, well, are we making enough money? And I'm trying to explain. And so if you guys could help me to work on those relationships, even just within my own district, any type of suggestions you guys might have to get them on the same mindset that I'm on, I would appreciate that help.
No, absolutely. And I think one of the things that we could really be discussing is how do we help inform leadership about this work, right? And we have some leaders in here. Pat, I know I keep saying Pat's name, but Pat's an assistant soup. So he can help us form and kind of fashion how do we bring this conversation to our district leaders to have some understanding of it. So maybe that's something that we can get with Pat about, and some of the other leaders in our space, in this space, to help with that articulating that for folks, because again, they have a lot of oversight, they have a lot of things that they're doing, right? And so how do we create that elevator speech and that quick thing that they can understand it and be able to make some informed decision around this. Again, and they have directors. I know we have a bunch of directors in this space, but again, even our directors, they're taking it up to their leadership and to their assistant soups. So making sure that we've provided the language and the language to articulate the importance of building a whole ecosystem around this, because that's really what it's going to take. So no, Elizabeth, you're absolutely right. Any other thoughts? Any questions?
I don't mind meeting.
Yeah.
I always think it's good to have a meeting. But I also I always appreciate, as I shared with my breakout, a newsletter, even if it's just a newsletter so I do like the website. And so even being added to the group I think it was in February, I was able to catch up, but a newsletter just kind of highlighting, even if it's just an email, it doesn't have to be a letter. If you just want to do it, just quick due dates, maybe quick bulleted things of where we should be at. That's always helpful to me. It always is helpful even if it's a possibility of how I help keep my administrators on track with things, I put it as a calendar invite.
Yeah.
Just so they know that the due date is coming. So I just accept it, and it's set up so that they get a notification a few days before, so that it's not we all need a reminder. We all do. It's just that some way to help us be a little bit more tangibly there. So just my thoughts. I'm always a fan of a quick email. I don't, because I think what happens, we forget that we get your emails plus other emails from others, and if they're all coming from the county, sometimes they may look the same. So just knowing that I can search, like I said, the website is great, but if I could just search and just know these are the due dates and sort by you and be done, I'm good.
Yeah, no, that's good feedback. And that a newsletter or something quick would be also help with that articulation and kind of support what you're doing, Elizabeth, right? Where our leaders are getting those like those quick kind of glances at things, quick glances that would support the work. And also, again, us highlighting some of the districts who are doing these things well to show. I think Roy talked about they've already looked at if they would have been sending claims to this point, they've already discovered that they got $70,000, right? So those kind of, is that what you said, Roy? Did I misquote that?
Well, that was just for one of the services that we
right.
offer. So that's not even all of them. It was just what it was a great way to be able to calculate it. My SPED executive director, we were all in the room. He just calculated and said, oh my God, that would have been a great way because we can't bill it off and you can't double dip. And so that was why we were really trying to be very clear and strategic there.
Yeah. And so it's those kind of things that our leaders need to see the opportunity in this, right? And as you guys are beginning to do your work and do the work in your districts, bringing that kind of information to this space will help us as we go into districts and LEAs to show them the opportunities and the chances, the opportunities that are before us if we can do this correctly, right? Where we're not double dipping, we're already doing a lot of these services. Let's get paid for these services that we're already providing anyway, right? Any other thoughts? We got about 10 minutes. Don't want to belabor it, but certainly want to keep it open for folks to be able to lean in.
James, this is for...
go ahead, Rebecca. Go ahead. No. Go ahead.
Okay. I would say sometimes it's hard when we have such a vast group of people and someone could have been with you from day one, whereas someone new just came today. And I've been told from our districts that we repeat the same information and someone who's seasoned doesn't want to keep hearing it. But then we're stuck when not stuck, but that's the wrong word. Someone new needs to keep hearing it so they could keep learning it and connect the dots. So sometimes I try and preface any conversation like, you may have already heard this, but we want them to know. So when we send emails, like the gentleman was just saying, sometimes I know we send too much and I'm like, let's just be specific to the point, and then they could get that. And then we'll have office hours like you guys do too. And they're getting information from everywhere. So sometimes I like to just have like bullets of, this is the really important things you need to know right now at this time. And this is what's coming up. Maybe something like he was suggesting like that, because now they're not only getting ESMA from me, LEA from me, DHCS, their vendor. Now they're working with you guys too. So I could only imagine what their brains are doing.
and Rebecca has told me for years a lot of what we should be piggybacking. And I'm saying my team should be actually piggybacking what Rebecca's doing, right? So we don't necessarily need to send out an additional newsletter, an additional conversation. We actually should be piggybacking off of what Rebecca and her team are already doing. So that's something that we can discuss as well, so that they're getting the information all at one place. Because again, what we should be doing as San Bernardino County Superintendent of Schools is actually what we're asking our districts to be doing, right? Where the ESMA, the LEA BOP, the fee schedule, all that stuff lives all together and is working in concert. Where again, as our districts, we're saying, oh, well, we got LEA BOP over here, we got fee schedule over here, but all those things need to be working in concert, and it really starts with us modeling that. So Rebecca, that's something that we need to be, we preaching it, but we not walking it, right? So we got to address that, right? So thank you for that. Elizabeth?
Just kind of like going along with what you were saying, a funny thing happened at my district. I sent the contract for CYBHI and our vendor to my boss's secretary, and so that she could get it signed. And she goes, wait, is this the contract I already got signed? I was like, no, this is a different one. She goes, how many contracts do we have? And I was like, well, we got First Small, we got LEA BOP, now it's CYBHI, and then you have Practical, and then you have SBCSS, and everybody has to talk to each other, through these contracts. And I understand how they fit.
Yeah.
But to other people, they just all blur into one.
Right.
So like helping them to see the
Thank you,
differences
Dr.
in the
King.
programs too.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, that's something that we need to be using this space. So we're going to be shifting, and thank you, Elizabeth. We're going to be shifting these conversations from grant to really implementation, practicality, application, right? To really start to help districts really begin to build their infrastructure. At least we can assist you guys in your building. And then maybe that'll give more space for conversation. People might open up their mics because they're saying, now this is actually practical. I can actually utilize this. This is the information I need, or this is what I'm working on. What is the feedback? And we can hear that from other people. Okay. So we're really going to be moving this. We'll still give you updates from what we get, but as you guys see, we had 2 updates. One of them was ours. SCOE hasn't provided a bunch of updates. I don't want to get together every 2 weeks and not leverage this opportunity to have what we have with LEAs. So we're really going to use this opportunity to really begin around application and implementation. Okay. So it's going to be looking different, y'all. And that's why we wanted to kind of get your input and see where you guys are. And we've taken notes, but just from my moving around the rooms, people want to start moving into application. And so we're going to start having those conversations for our next office hours. Veronica, team, is there anything else we need to say?
We do have a question in the form.
Okay, you gonna read it, Marwa?
It says, when should we anticipate the second payment?
So if the second payment, Jameen, haven't we've been sending those out? So it really would be, make sure whoever that is, stay on and we can check and see if you invoiced us. So if we didn't get the second invoice, because we've already been sending out that money. The 40%, I'm thinking somebody's asking about the 40%. So we've sent out the 40%. So if you haven't gotten it, let's talk. Anything else, Marwa? No?
No,
Okay.
we're good.
Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and give you guys 5 minutes of get back to work kind of time. What's up, Rose? But thank you all for being here. Appreciate it. If you need anything, we'll stay on and answer any questions, especially that one who we were just talking about, where the money. Okay. Thank you all. Hey, Lauren. Thank you all, everybody. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
I'm staying